All right, guys, thank you for allocating a little bit of your time. And woohoo, today we're going to be having a little bit of fun. And that fun will uh, include us going a little further in building, steering up the pot, Freedom Fusion automation that makes it easy for luxury pet moms to engage on TikTok, create controversial videos that makes it possible for you to make more sales without having to necessarily flex your muscle, your brain, and anything else for that matter. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to kind of quickly show you once again to remind you what we're doing. We are building Freedom Fusion automation that makes it easy for you to kind of go through the following phases: pre-launch, launch, post-launch, and of your luxury pet product. And as you're building your luxury pet product, you're going to be utilizing all sorts of skills, hybrid skills, threat stacking skills throughout every process of growing your feudal kingdom. And of course, this is what we do. We offer specific training, uh, including the training in feudal incubators and threat stack that will allow you to learn how to build your own luxury pet brand and eventually start making more money. So today we're building a very interesting automation. It's called steering up the pot. I'm just going to kind of skip on that. So this is steering up the pot. It makes it easy for you to get categorized on FYP page on TikTok using 2 iPhones. So your videos can be seen. And we're building this automation that makes it easy for you to get the marketing angles delivered directly into your iPhone. And basically the way it works is those marketing angles are dynamic. They're digitally tailored towards mom's pet life product lifecycle. What we do, we inject them directly into from our Freedom Fusion System CRM, which we would enroll you in if you were to decide to become our customer, or if you wanted to learn how to build this on your own, you could just watch and observe how we do this. But the idea here is we pass those marketing angles directly into your iPhone. So um, essentially, your iPhone that's running the hub iPhone is going to have those marketing angles, and what we're going to do, we're going to pass that marketing angle into FireStore that's running on FireBase, which is storage specifically on Google that makes it easy for you to scale your app and into all sorts of other kind of workflows that you're going to be doing in order to increase your brand and in order for you to make more sales and sell more products. So essentially what we're going to be doing, we will be storing those angles, marketing angles, on inside of this cloud database, FireStore. And uh, this will essentially give you bigger wings of freedom to scale your luxury pet brand by relying on that Google platform. And of course, guys, what we do, we utilize Stitch to design your iPhone, to design the actual app. Stitch is by Google, and what we do, we stir up the pot. We essentially take that automation, take the entire workflow, design it in Stitch, and hand it off to you on your phone, and you run that workflow on your phone. Now, that whole concept of that marketing angle gets infused directly into your phone, and you basically create a video that is you get guided through the whole process of creating a video that is going to have a greater chance of standing out in front of your audience versus if you were to just randomly create the video and didn't really follow any of those kind of infused based marketing angles in combination with all sorts of guidance on your phone. So what's happening here, guys, is you get presented with different types of viral content, and you remix that content and you use combination of both of your iPhones. So this is kind of the best way I could kind of help you understand the overall architecture. You have Stitch, which is Google service that is designing that is responsible for creating a front end interface. And then what we do, we take that front end interface and we convert it into a small kind of a little window, and inside of that window we show a little avatar. That avatar essentially is the one that's guiding you through all the steps, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and effectively passing all of this information into Gemini CLI and Gemini Live API So this way it communicates back and forth with you in a fast way, guiding you through the whole process, helping you build relationships, helping you get categorized on FYP page, increasing engagement, reduce mental fatigue from knowing what to reply with, and essentially steering up the pot by responding with viral comments and with that and getting that additional engagement. So just to kind of help you better understand, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of quickly show you the app itself. So the app is being built, and this is something that you guys are going to get access to. And of course, if you want to follow along and see how we're building the whole thing, you could most certainly can follow along and see how we're building the whole thing. So what we're using in a combination of different um, services on Google. And what we use is Stitch. So Stitch is pretty cool. So the first thing we do, we obviously create a very good content using ideogram to show like exactly what we're building. And what we do is we create like a product, and this product looks like this. So if I was to go to Stitch, let me go to Stitch, just trying to find it real quick, and I'll just show you what it looks like. So I'm gonna go to Stitch. Let's go Google Stitch. It's probably just easier. Stitch design with Google. We just log into it, and over here we got steering up the pot. You could easily build your own apps with uh, Google, Stitch with Google.com. It's a free tool, and then effectively, what we did, we came up with this interface. So think of it as a little app. This is our Freedom Fusion automation that runs on your phone. So the idea is it runs on your phone. So if I was to kind of quickly export that and put that all in one spot, the best way I could kind of describe it is I put it right here. This is the UI interface of the phone. So what we're doing, guys, we're quickly building the whole interface right here. This removes the whole concept of you having to think. So we're making it really simple for you. So this way you don't have to think about what to say when you are browsing on TikTok. So you basically using this app that is using this kind of automation that I quickly once again described over here. So this is once again the automation. It performs the following. You get a marketing angle that gets injected from based on a brand context directly into your iPhone. And of course, you are super happy mom. You get all those dynamic angles, so this way you don't have to think what to say whenever you are promoting your products. Now, we help you get set up with a Freedom Fusion System CRM as well that makes it possible for us to tap into your leads. Essentially, if you wanted to make any sales, you got to take control of your leads. And of course, our Freedom Fusion automation makes it our Freedom Fusion automations in combination with Freedom Fusion System CRM makes it possible for you to take control of those leads. And here's the tech stack that we use in order to drive those marketing angles directly into your iPhone. And shortly, I'm going to show you what we're using for that. But we're basically, as I mentioned, we're using FireStore and a FireBase. So once the marketing angle gets dropped into your iPhone, you get to see it in a nice, beautiful interface. The process of injecting any kind of data happens through this pushcut application. This is a pushcut application that you quickly install on your phone. Will provide you with all the operationalized instructions for how to do that. So this way you completely remove the need of having to worry about creating any kind of videos. Instead, you get guided prescriptively on a go for what to create, how to create, and all of that guidance takes place through the avatar that gets shown directly on your phone. The avatar is something that we're working right now, and of course we are showing you step by step how we're building the whole Freedom Fusion system. My name is Ron Wells, and I quickly wanted to help you guys like understand how we're building this, but also kind of give you the benefits of building it yourself. Like if you wanted to build this yourself, it's fairly easy. All you need is Stitch, all you need is FireBase, FireStore, and two iPhone apps and few automations ranging from shortcuts, regular shortcuts that you have on your iPhone, and marketing strategies that already exist from many gurus. What we're doing, we're just finding those goats out there who are very good in spawning money, and we're just converting whatever they're good at into your phone or into automations that run on your phones. So this way you don't have to spend your time listening to those gurus. Instead, you just literally execute. In fact, we make it even easy for you to not to execute anything at all, and you could hand this off directly to your UGC creators, and they can execute this for you while you just manage from a central single pane of glass from Freedom Fusion System CRM your entire workforce and essentially grow your brand, but and kind of being doing bigger things, greater things, while having your team doing something like this. Um, Promoting your luxury pet products. Now, of course, this is the tech stack we're using, and of course, this is kind of the design that we have over here, stirring up the pot. Very simple process, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very simple app, and of course, this is just one of our automations. But let's get into the whole process of showing you what exactly how are we doing this. So, how are we designing this whole thing? So, the process of designing the whole thing takes place across several things. The first thing what we do is we spin up a little container. So that container is running um, on inside of a CloudRun. So CloudRun is, if I had to go back to the presentation and kind of show you what the CloudRun is. So CloudRun is this thing over here. It's a little container. Think of it as like a little computer running in a Google Cloud. And what it does, it contains everything that you need to have on your app. It's a way for you to communicate with your app information that you have, like step 1, step 2, 3, 4, etc. As you iterate through those steps, there's avatar going to be talking to you, communicating with you, and guiding you and being your therapist at the same time, and helping you navigate through some of those apps that you already have installed on your iPhone. So, like, where does the Firebase and Cloud Run comes into play? Well, the first thing, so first of all, we're using WebRTC protocol to streamline intercommunicate, real life kind of a almost real life feedback from an avatar directly into the phone. How are we accomplishing this? So before I could explain how we're accomplishing this, let me describe to you the overall tech stack. So the first thing we use is steering up the pot. This is the name of our automation. We use this is as we're whipping out those automations, we make them available in our bio link. By the way, guys, if you haven't had a chance to check out the bio link, take a look at this. Like ThreadsBot's responder is fairly fire. If you're really tired and don't want to engage with people, use Threads responder. Works like a clock. You open it up on an extension, put digital marketing, for example, as a keyword, and specify number of posts 10, put the time interval 3, hit submit, and this will create relationships for you automatically on a go. Uh, well, I don't want to say on a go, but inside of the browser. The Freedom Fusion automations are designed more on a go. This is more like inside of on your computer, but you could easily run those threads engagement, threads responder to get more people to like your threads and eventually make more sales. By the way, guys, if you haven't had a chance to follow us on Threads to check out what we do, what we offer, take a look at that. Also, take a look at our BioSpice Social Blaster Freedom Fusion automation that makes it easy for you to blast your bio link and make it easily available for other people. We will get more likes, more followers, etc. And of course, guys, take a look at our other posts. This is an example of our Freedom Fusion automations, like BioSpice Social Blaster, that just removes the whole necessity of you having to think about how to spice up your profile. It gets all the marketing angle context infused directly into your iPhone, and this is what it looks like natively from the kind of from the phone. This is what this BioSpice Social Blaster automation looks like. Now, this whatever you see inside of here is represented as a basic shortcuts that you already have on your phone, which is super cool. But we're going a little bit further in terms of we're leveling up those automations further. So this way, instead of kind of seeing what you see in here, prescriptive recommendations in the form of pop-ups, uh, you get like, and as you can see, we have a bunch of apps opening up, that kind of stuff. Uh, what we do, we guide you throughout your existing apps. We don't reinvent the apps, we guide you through existing apps, but in such a way that you make money. I hope that makes sense, guys. So, like, how do we do that? Once again, guys, what we do, we find goats out there who are very good at making money. We don't try to be the goats ourselves in terms of making money. Instead, we find the goats out there who are really good at making money. How do those goats know how to make money? They understand TikTok principles. They understand how to market to people. They are very good. They spend thousands, they earn thousands of dollars. And what we do, we snipe them. We snipe their expertise, and what we do, we operationalize them into Freedom Fusion automation. So this way, you don't have to really think much, and you just kind of follow, like what you see here in bias by social blaster, like how easy it is to go ahead and create a bunch of bias by stop profiles. And of course, guys, right now you could see it's a basic Freedom Fusion automation. And of course, steering up the pot is somewhat similar like bias by social blaster, except the marketing angle is different. It's not about bio links, it's more about you sniping some viral comments. As you can see in this automation itself, we are introducing all sorts of elements, native elements on your phone, that you have little pop-ups, you have all sorts of things going on, and like it just guides you. You don't really need to think too much. You just turn on the automation and it just runs on your computer, I mean on your phone. And the cool part about it, guys, like this is, like obviously you're not seeing any apps here. So what is the difference between what we're doing here with the Stitch app, with the Stitch Design Google app, and whatever we're doing over there on like on a shortcut native automation? Well, you see, we needed to package those automations for you, so this way you could start understanding how things work, and we wanted to package them in a way where we are where we have injected AI avatars injected directly into your iPhone. So this way you could talk to it as you go through each of those steps. AI analyzes your smile, it analyzes your gestures, it analyzes your mood, and it prescribes information as you traverse through those steps. What we do, we grab context out of each of those steps, individual steps. We grab context. How do we grab context, and what do we do with that context? Well, like as you click on each thing, we get data. We know what you click on, and not only do we know what we click on, we know precisely what we told you in that step one. But what we don't know is how you are acting, how you're smiling, how you like if you're winking, if you can give us a thumbs up, or if you like what your mood is. So we want to change that. We want to include prescriptive based recommendation engine with supervised machine learning based on your mood and based on your business. So guys, like the way we're gonna do that is through this tech stack. So tech stack is like this. Right now I kind of just showed you the whole, just a really small thing over here. And here's an example of how you could use Bias by Social Blaster to go ahead and just kind of inject like different things. And you're going to see an example of more, like you could inject different pieces of content that it just makes your brand looks absolutely fire. Think about it like almost as if you're exchanging your business card. And of course, it makes it easy for your luxury pet cats and dogs be seen. This is, as you can see, my brother's cats and dogs, um, and yeah, just think of it as a modern day credit card exchange. Instead of passing to people credit card, you're passing your BioLink, except you're passing it in many different variations for other people to see, recognize your brand, and be able to reach out to you. Once again, guys, I'm not covering too much of this automation today for Bias by Social Blaster. You could go into our threads and learn more about it. Today's topic is more about steering up the pot, but I figured I'd just kind of give you a little preview of Bias by Social Blaster, so this way you could maybe see like how far that is and start using it for yourself, start getting more likes and views and followers, etc., for your brand, and start kind of doing the same thing. And as you sign up, if you become our thread stack subscriber, you could get access to those automations. Our subscription is $14.99. It will elevate your game exponentially, your marketing game for whatever the kind of business that you're trying to build. Now, of course, if you're not a luxury pet mom and you have another business, that doesn't mean that you can't use those automations. It's just our focus is luxury pet moms over 40, but you most certainly can reuse them for your own brand. And in fact, we have lawyers, accountants, and all sorts of other people reaching out to us seeking all of our help, a consultation, and all sorts of other things to kind of help people, help them out because they're on a go, they want to do all sorts of crazy things, and they want something crazy like this. So, guys, we're not, remember, we're not reinventing the wheel. We're utilizing your existing apps that you already have. What we do, we prescribe precisely in what sequence and what order you must use those apps to make money. I hope that makes sense. So instead of you sitting there listening and wondering and pondering, like, oh, how am I going to make money, or watching any of those gurus out there wasting your time, instead, you just get precisely the correct steps that you execute, and AI gets to communicate with you and tell you exactly what to do. Now, keep something in mind, guys. This is not taught in college. This is not taught anywhere in the world. We're a unique company. We're a billion-dollar company named Pepsi. Loved our strategy so much they created a drink, Freedom Fusion drink. Feel free to check it out if you haven't had a chance to drink one. It's by Mountain Dew, and our marketing is extremely innovative. And what we do, we solve problems that many moms over 40 don't even know exist, or at least subconsciously know they exist, but not solving them. And when you start solving those problems, it becomes exponentially easier for you to truly be making more money. Now, this is Jax. He loves to play. He loves to bite my hair, and you know, he's super hungry. And I play with him a lot. And there's also three little hairless cats, and there's another dog. This is my brother's house, and really playful, guys. And imagine if you have everything you need to monetize your dog, your cats, and make more money. Imagine if you can do that. Well, with Freedom Fusion system, you can. You get training in our feudal incubators, and you get um, thread stack, our informal training. And of course, guys, our informal training is just kind of a um, multiple guides in a community in different flavors, that kind of stuff. So, guys, keep something in mind. At the end of the day, you don't want to be a process prisoner. You want to be shaping your mind. You want to be the freedom founder. Now, of course, the marketing angles will constantly change, but we'll infuse them directly into your phones and make it easy for you. Notice how we're using prescriptive-based kind of videos that literally talk and smile. How do we do that? Where do we get that from? How's that even possible? Guys, this is extremely possible with the AI modern apps that exist today. The problem is with many of you, you're not really being given direction for how to use any of those tools, and many moms over 40, they end up kind of burning out. So now, with all that further kind of me explaining that, you remember, you gotta have action revolves around Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and all of this is fire. I mean, you just need to really develop those hybrid skills that are not taught in college, guys, and we'll help you learn them. But those skills require incredible marketing like this, incredible drive for building something very innovative. Now, whether you're a mom over 40 or if you're a side hustler who wants to help moms over 40, we have opportunities for you to truly become that next wave of creators. We have learn and earn opportunities and all sorts of other opportunities to help you get ahead of the game and help us build. Now, of course, as we operationalize everything, we include it in Gumroad. You could see how everything is in Gumroad. If you wanted to buy those automations separately, you most certainly can. But I highly recommend that you become a Thread Stack subscriber, so that this way you get feed into all of our automations. So this way you don't have to pay separately for each one. You get immediate access to all of our automations as we come out. You get access to our premium workshops, premium guides. So this way you don't have to pay separately for each one. And of course, you could ask questions. You get encouragement, accountability, and support, that kind of stuff. So anyway, going back to the tech stack. So let's talk about the FireBase thing. So the first thing, in order for us to feed context to you into the app, in order for us to successfully be able to communicate with luxury pet moms over 40 and help us help you, we need to stay in control of your iPhone. But to do that, we wanted to do it to make it still private. We don't want it to be like us taking over the showing, getting any info that is sensitive. No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, we will isolate anything we build in a little app that's going to be like the one that I showed you earlier. But the first thing we need to do, we need to create a database. So right now I just created a user1 to 3 database in a steering up the pod, Firebase, FireStore automation. I mean FireStore database. Think of it as just a database in a Google. And I included a bunch of steps. Like what kind of steps are those? Oh, well, those are the steps of the automations where you get doom scroll, find the viral comment, remix your voice with that viral comment, create a viral script, and blast that across socials. And of course, there's other steps, but I didn't add those other steps yet because I just wanted to kind of quickly sift through the combination of all of those different high cardinality heterogeneous complexities, including with all sorts of tech stacks, so this way you could kind of see how all of this is built, and then maybe, who knows, maybe you'd want to join us and build some of those automations with spawn money together. If it's you, DM the word path on my Insta. We can most certainly discuss some of those collaborations and learn and earn opportunities. But the first thing first is, so I created like the username, right? So the username and some of those individual steps. And of course, I edit the fields. So each field represents, so what this whole thing called is schema. And we need to define that schema. But how do I know what to define? Where do those ideas come from? Guys, those ideas comes from our ratings division when when we try to figure out which product to buy, which product we should sell on the market. We need to evaluate the product. We need to understand how it works. In the process of doing that research, we also discover some very interesting gurus out there who have incredible strategies, digital marketing strategies, but those gurus are really weak when it comes to operationalizing them into Freedom Fusion automation style of workflows that makes it easy for moms over 40 not to listen to any of those gurus and simply do by executing each step one step at a time while being guided by AI. But that doesn't mean those gurus are not good. They're very good. It's just they are lacking the skills of operationalizing all of those automations, and this is where we come in. So, like the first thing is, here's what we have. So we introduced emotions element. So emotion element, really, what we're looking for, think of it as a collection. All of this is like a collect. What we want to do. We want to figure it out. We want to see you. We want to see if you show a thumbs up, or if you smile, or if you do any of that. We want to see your reaction, just like the reaction that you see over here when you go on Threads. You'll see me, like some of the moms over 40 that keep something in mind. We're a talent agency. We help moms over 40 blow up, and some of our moms over 40, if you look at their expressions on their face, I mean, like we want to see those expressions inside of AI, inside of the phone. So now, uh, we want to see gestures like this. We want to see thumbs up. We want to see, and we're going to try to kind of scroll through like some examples of some of the moms um, that are kind of having those facial expressions uh, that would trigger AI to say something and respond back to you. So I'm just kind of scrolling, trying to find some of those moms. It's been a while where I posted some of them. Okay, so no, no. Probably, yeah. So as you can see, there's a lot of things for you guys on Threads to learn from. All of those automations, how I discovered Freedom Fusion automations to increase my engagement for my pet business. So no, like let's see, luxury pet brand TikTok shop dropshipping, Freedom Fusion system. Okay, talent agency. Let me see where I could find you a good example of a gesture that we're looking. So the idea here is we're trying to get those gestures um, operationalized into the iPhone and make them respond. And of course, you guys see. Okay, so gestures like this, right? We want to see that. We want to see those kind of interactions of you doing this stuff on your phone while talking to the avatar. We want to have fun. We want you to have fun in the process of like being somebody who's having fun, making sales, going through the process of engaging with people on TikTok versus feeling like you're isolated and nobody is next to you who is motivating you. We want to get that motivational coach directly infused into your life cycle. So now now that you guys kind of understood everything, the question is what exactly we're going to do next. So the next thing is, so what we did over here, we created, I'm going to kind of cover what we did in terms of a tech stack. So as you can see, the database is here. Now, what else did we do? So the next thing what we did is we created this folder over here. So like here's a folder called Stirring Up the Pot. So there's certain things that I did in order to get this up and running. First of all, I created a couple of things that are somewhat very interesting. If you kind of look at this, this is what I'm doing is really just kind of installing Google Cloud CLI. So this is where I could kind of interact with a container. And what I did is I set up Docker environment, and what I did is I set up this package, uh, and this is what it looks like. This is just to kind of show you what that is. So this is just a way for us to communicate with. So what I did is I created a service account in FireBase. So this way I could authenticate from the CLI using Google Cloud CLI from my computer, and so this way I could communicate with a CloudRun container. That CloudRun container is, and this is the way for how I could intercommunicate with the actual um, with stirring up the pot container. So the container is really, it's just a quick way. The container is running right here. If I was to look at the container, as you can see, it's running already and it's on a public cloud. And over here, I kind of remove that and I just run it like that, run app, stirring up the pot is live, right? Then test FireStore, boom, test document written to FireStore. So what I did is I just quickly created like what I did over here is just created a way to interact with the database directly from the Cloud Run. So the Cloud Run itself, if I was to go over here, as you can see, what I did, the first thing I did, guys, is I created the service. So if you go over here, you could kind of, you see the um, like different types of projects. So make sure that whatever the project that you create, that you create that service. So essentially what you need to do, the first thing you need to do on a Cloud Run, guys, if you want to have something similar, is to create a service. And that service needs to be running um, like it needs to be kind of running and available. So over here you could see stirring up the pot container, and this container is kind of, this is what it is. As you can see, it kind of stirring up. There's stirring up and stirring up the pot. So it's kind of like two different containers that is set up, and you could remove them, you could do whatever, you could create the new ones. But the idea is as you build them, you run them only, you're not paying anything until you run them, So like here's what this means, guys. So as you can see, if you wanted to control your phone, if you wanted to have your luxury pet products sold and make insane amount of money, what you need is this app, guys. This app is built based on, this is what it looks like. Here's what I'm using, Stitch. Stitch is free, you could use that, okay? Then as you can see, stirring up the pot, the container itself is running. So what we did, we got that container. How does that look like? Once again, guys, this is what the setup looks like. This is the container, right? So this is the Cloud Run. Here's a FireBase, FireStore. I keep confusing it with Firestone because I did spend $1,300 today on fixing my brakes. Apparently, in a Firestone, my car was screeching with a. It was just making funny noise, guys. Today I went to the Firestone, so I may be confusing Firestone with Firestone store. But anyway, the bottom line is you have Stitch app, and of course that app is built based on, as I mentioned to you, is built based on Google. So it's designed with Google Stitch, and of course the marketing angle gets infused directly into your phone, and on the phone, when that marketing angle gets infused, we change them. We change those marketing angles. We make them dynamic because people become immune. You know how they how they don't like the same thing. So we randomize and create marketing angles for you differently. But the idea is you run through all of those marketing angles, get infused directly into Stitch. into your iPhone through the Firebase, and of course there's a container that's running. And this Firebase thing over here, this Firestone, Firebase is by Google. It's just a hosting platform. FireStore is a database. Teach is a design for how to design an app, and iPhone and like, and of course you gotta have two iPhones, Hub and Spoke, to really be super effective. And of course, you get to mix everything up. And um, yeah, so that's kind of the idea. Now, what exactly are we doing now? So what we did over here, we created the steering up the pod. And what is this? What I'm looking over here? This is a console, Google Cloud Console. So you connect to this Google Cloud Console. It has all sorts of things, IAM, all sorts of roles. Just make sure when you set up your automation that you set up your service accounts. That's number one. Number two, make sure that you set up your role to be an editor, okay? Not just owner, but the editor, okay? Otherwise, it won't allow you to run some of those containers. And of course, make sure that you are doing this to make sure when you're spinning up your service, you're utilizing the same region as your FireStore. Otherwise, you're gonna have extra latency, and things just not gonna work properly for you. So this is the Cloud Hub. This is what it looks like, guys. This is you run all sorts of Google projects. Right now, I'm running steering up the pod project, and the other thing that you guys want to do, you want to set up quotas, because you don't want to be in a situation where you're gonna end up like getting charged money for this stuff because you forgot to set up a quota, and then you don't want to be in that situation. So you definitely want to set up quotas, so this way you get notification if you exceed like $5 per month, that kind of stuff. But the cool part about it, when you set this up, and if I was to kind of go back and show you guys like the whole process of setting it up. So when you set up a container, effectively have a couple of containers, like, and you could turn them off. You could like go ahead and delete them and turn them off. It's not going to be a big deal, guys. Now those containers are not running per instance. They're running per execution. So in simple words, when people execute them, that's when you get charged. So right now, as you can see, this is the execution container, CPU, container utilization, all that other stuff, and the logs, and like you could kind of see all of those statistics, networking, YAML, all of that mumbo jumbo stuff is here. And over here you could see steering up the pot, billing request based. It's request based, not container based, meaning you're not paying for the container. You got a 512 meg limit, megabyte memory limit, and it's running on this image. And of course, it's running on port 8080. Like, how do you do this? How do you set all of this up, guys? Once again, it's relatively easy. So what you do, you go in and you create a service. So when you deploy, so essentially what you want to do, you want to deploy a container, and you give it a name, you pick the region. I picked the EU West. I put up East. So I picked East. Why? Because this is where my FireStore is. I didn't want to pick anything else that would increase the latency, so I made sure that my CloudRun instance is running in the same place as East as the FireStore. Okay, so that's the first thing I did, and I filled out the same default things for billing. I chose requested, then I chose allow public access. Then this is the URL that it kind of produced. Now keep something in mind. I do have something that's set up that's definitely running for me and setting notifications. As you can see, here's the notifications coming in. As you can see, there's some billing that I enabled. You could kind of see your history. So the idea is, what did we do now? We deployed steering up the pod. So what is it doing? What is steering up the pod doing, automation right now doing? Well, we have configured the database tech stack in combination with a container that is running inside of Google. And we set up billing to make sure we get notified if we exceed $5 per month. And what we did, we tested the communication between FireStore and Google. So what does that mean, guys? And CloudRun. So what does that mean, guys? Right now we have a little thing that's run, little computer that's running on Google, and that computer can serve like this automation over here. As you can see, if I was to scroll over here, So this is our automation. This is our UI for stirring up the pot. And this UI will end up being served from an iPhone. So you as a bougie boss mom over 40, you're going to be super happy camper. Why? Because there's going to be a little avatar explaining to you what to do, how to do it, and communicate. Will be communicating with you in real time, right? So once again, how does that happen? You get our talent agency feeds moms viral marketing angles. Those viral marketing angles coming from goats, and as we update those marketing angles, they get infused directly into your iPhone. Then you see them on your iPhone. Let's say if you wanted to increase your engagement and build your luxury pet store quicker and wanted to get more people coming in into your pet store, wanted to promote your products. Obviously, every single day there's new strategies out there, new trends. Definitely, you don't want to be like breaking your head trying to figure out what the trends are, what the new strategies are. You don't have time for that. You have business to run, not a dating profile to run. And we tell that to moms, and they all laugh, and they were like, "Oh my God, this is so true. I wish I knew about this earlier." But like, how do we accomplish this? How do we include those marketing angles directly into your phones? Well, what we do, we go through the process of, first of all, ratings, research, and development. So we constantly research relevant angles relevant to your particular brand. And not only relevant to your particular brand, but also relevant for your customers. And inside of our Freedom Fusion System CRM, that don't worry, we'll also set you up with. We do that for our luxury pet moms. This is where we not only create marketing angles for you, because frankly speaking, we don't really care about you, or should I say, frankly speaking, we don't really care about you per se from the standpoint of, how should I say that in a non-harsh way. We don't care about you, but what we really care about is your customers. Because if we can take care of your customers, then essentially we'll be able to care for you. I hope that makes sense. This is the reason why inside of Freedom Fusion System CRM, we take those leads that you're going to be getting on a constant basis that are going to be fed into your system, and we tailor those, we mix them together with your brand and the marketing, trending marketing angles, and we infuse them directly into your iPhone. Because we know if we could create that impact on your customers, you're going to be happy as well. So our goal is, yes, we still care for you, but we care for you in an indirect way that matters most to you versus kind of saying, hey, let me help you. No, instead we're going to say, let let us help your customers let us help your customers find you. So that's kind of it's a little bit different. And some people say, oh my God, I never really thought about it this way. But that's how we take care of our customers, guys, by taking care of your customers. So I hope that makes sense, guys. No, so obviously the marketing angles coming in. Once again, guys, they're coming in. They're hitting that phone with the stitch design, and then what happens next? All sorts of other fun activities takes place. It goes into your iHub phone. You get prescriptive recommendations. You get a little AI avatar that communicates with you and looks at you and understands the gestures. And that's what we're creating right now. We're focusing on, we're trying to get that avatar infused into your phone. So this way you have a little kind of a real-time bot kind of a avatar of you communicating with yourself, but understanding every single context as you're iterating through every single step. And of course, there's many different steps and many different angles, guys. And of course, if you look at all those angles, you get guided by avatar. And in the process of you getting guided through avatar, you scroll through the viral comment and stop when you find one. Automation takes a picture of a comment for you. So we'll remove the whole concept of you having to think, other than just kind of follow the Freedom Fusion automation. Now, of course, guys, let's talk about this tech stack over here. So what we have done today, we have managed to operationalize, we have managed to initiate the tech stack, the CloudRun tech stack. We set up the CloudRun, and we got this thing going. We got basic requirements of running containerized environment in cloud, and we connected it to Firebase. We made it work, but we really need to go ahead and get this part over here. Really, we need to get this part, those steps, we need to pass them to Firebase. And although we tested the basic functionalities, we really want to take it to the next level. The next level of like being able to control centrally everything and pass and inject information into your phone and scale it easier. So, and of course, include other automations as we continuously building them. And to do that, we need a very strong AI interface between cloud-oriented functions that we are constructing in Google in combination with business. In To do that, we really need to have everything infrastructure as a code. So this is where we're gearing in that direction, infrastructure as a code. Everything is code based, and of course, with AI, it's super easy to kind of with Claude and so many different LLMs, it's so easy to go ahead and produce that code. So we're not really like code is our not our main problem. Our main problem right now is really creating a cohesive interface that makes it possible for us to control things centrally. And of course, guys, let's talk about how do we bring this everything back into this umbrella of being able to create this on your computer. If you're trying to build this yourself, the most important part is to start off with basic things. Install. First of all, you got to install this thing over here. You got to create an index file, and of course, those two files over here created automatically when you install npm. You got to create a service account on the obviously on the Firebase, so this way you could communicate with the Firebase. You gotta ignore any other folders that you may have in here. Otherwise, when I tried doing this, building a Docker containerized image, uh, it grabbed all those 5,000 files, so I had to quickly click create the ignore file. And of course, you gotta create a Docker file that builds everything, takes that container and builds this. And now, keep something in mind, at this particular point, you are like, if I show you what we're building, um, it's fairly easy to understand if you look at everything step by step. So the first thing what we do over here, we really just create this index file. So index file is really just a way of communicating with the service account. Now, service account is relatively easy to create. You just go to service account on the database, and you click on settings, project settings, and of course, guys, you click on this tab over here, service accounts, and create a service account. So the service account is a way for you to really control, like you want to communicate from your app on your phone that looks like a native app with the database. And to do that, you need a service account. So, and that service account needs to be really communicating with the CloudRun container. That CloudRun container is running on port 8080. Now this is the TCP port 8080. It's not UDP, it's not external, it's internal. In reality, everything is running on port 443. It's fully SSL encrypted. It's not 80 or something like this, guys. So don't really worry about it. But anything you write in URL, this is like this over here is just a way for me to test if I'm able to communicate directly with the FireStore from the CloudRun. So now that you can kind of see and understand the code, you obviously when you install things, guys, and of course you will not understand any of this, guys, unless you join either A or Feudal Incubator. If you really wanted to build something like this, you won't be able to fully understand this, guys, unless you join our Feudal Incubator, where you get complete pills of freedom, where you pop those pills of freedom step by step. Everything is described to you for how to build something like this, because this is not something that you could just paste into AI and AI will generate for you and build a fire looking product that's just going to be spawning money. Absolutely not, guys. This requires in a combination of AI, content driven automation, thread stacking, TikTok sniping, and other hybrid skills that are not taught in college. Now, keep something in mind. Do we need to be a guru in code? No, absolutely not. I never took any coding. Just kind of, well, like I just did a little bit of math. I got a double degree in mathematics in bachelor's and master's, and the rest is just smooth sailing. Nowadays, guys, you don't even need to be a super coder or anything. What really matters, guys, is just for you to be approximately good enough and understand what's happening and kind of understand the purpose and then just run with it. That's the idea. So now what I'm showing you over here is a routing. How do we route traffic to FireStore? So FireStore is a database, and as you can, and keep something in mind, I haven't talked about WebRTC in the details. Right now, we're just talking about static database entries that are being injected into the database. And we have a schema, we have users, users 1 to 3. Remember that users that I showed you guys? Remember the schema that I showed you over here? If I was to jump in into steering up the pod, what do we have? We have the database users. So what are the database users and what, like, who are they? Where do they come from? This is the moms over 40 who are going to be using our app. Right now, what I did is I created a basic schema. This is a schema. By the way, guys, once again, this is not taught in college. This is not taught anywhere in the world. This is extremely unique. It's the set of skills that you guys are getting right now. You're getting like a little freebie of what you could get in feudal incubators from our feudal hustlers. Our training is $295 a month if you wanted to join feudal incubators and learn how to build those innovative automations that spawn money. Or you can help us build those automations and we bypass that fee and you get that training for free without having to pay that fee. And of course, guys, when you get those skills, you kind of got to understand every one of those skills like add up like a snowball effect. Right now, what you see over here is we kind of created a bunch of users, and each user has a collection, and each sub collection has different steps. This is a schema. This is an example of what is happening on the app. Like what is happening in the app? How do I know what is happening on the app? Like some people say, oh, I need to know the schema first, and I need to create the schema first when building an innovative app. Absolutely not, guys. That's not how it works. You will never build an innovative app unless you create content like this. Now, this type of content like this only gets created in process of you truly vibing. And I'm talking about, when I say vibing, I'm talking about like literally sitting there, opening up your phone and just looking at every feature that exists on the phone and whipping it out, like literally sitting there and be like, you know what, I kind of like this. It's fire. It's fire. It's fire. It's fire. It's fire. But but not because like you thought it was fire and you started randomly doing things, but because you researched it and you found like insane amount of people making money from some crazy strategy. You saw the strategy and you'd be like, oh my God, let me go ahead and operationalize that into automation. And of course, guys, like this is how things happen. You don't start off with schema. You don't go ahead and just get access to like you don't just start creating users step 1, step 2, step 3. If you do that, you'll fail right away. You will not be able to create an innovative product. Now keep something in mind, like do you really need to have innovative product? Maybe you don't really need to have it. Maybe you just need to be approximately good enough to just make a little bit of income. And many of you truly kind of want to do that, and I get it. But at the same time, guys, you kind of got to understand that you are not here to sell any automations. You are here to make money. Those automations, guys, like this is not how you make money from automations. You make money from business relationships and working on the people, creating relationships with people. BioSpy Social Blaster, for example, is a perfect relationship builder for Fusion automation. It allows you to distribute your kind of sort of like a bio link, sort of like a business card to people, makes it super easy. Now, keep something in mind, if you look at the database right now, and you probably ask, well, Rome, like I don't understand. Like, what do you mean by the database? What do you mean by schema? Like, where do I start? Uh, Guys, the most important part is to start not from the front end interface, but from looking at the gurus on TikTok who are talking about like, oh, this is how you increase your, this is how you get it. You could be on a FYP page. This is what you got to do, and then they describe the manual process for how to do it, and you'd be like, I bet, let me go ahead and try to replicate that. But you do it inside of a different world. You don't do it like in the manual world. You do it in a world of where there's AI doing the stuff for you and or at least maybe not doing everything for you but supervising you with prescriptive recommendations to do things for you. Now, like what exactly is emotions? What is like why did I add emotions? I want to get gestures. I wanted to get response. I wanted to get feedback from moms over 40 when they're using those automations. I don't want it to be just steps. Those days are gone where it's just steps and it's one forward based thinking. No, I want both input and output. I want multimodal capabilities infused back into our systems, into the cloud. I want to be in full control of helping moms over 40 discover freedom faster. But to have that full control, I need to be able to dynamically inject information into their iPhones. And to do that, I use Pushcart. Now, Pushcart is an innovative tool that allows you to execute shortcuts on a fly. And of course, if you guys haven't installed Pushcart, go ahead and install it on your iPhone. It's free to install it, but if you wanted to really take care of use those APIs that it comes from that allows you to trigger shortcuts, then it's like 20 bucks. Now, it's a good tool, guys. The entire tool stack for doing all those tools. Like, guys, you will never make any money if you don't use those tools that are on iPhone that are created by $1 million companies like Captions, CapCut, etc. Like, if this is why this was no brainer for us to focus on not creating something new, but creating something that already exists, but showing you direction for how to use what's something that already exists. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, guys, we're heading out further over here and we're kind of looking at different things. So let's take a look at ChatGPT a little bit further to kind of explain how other pieces come to place. So the first thing is we build the connector. So this is how you build the connector. This is how you deploy the connector. So you create a service account, you build a um, container, and yeah, I meant to say container, not the connector. You build the container, you deploy the container. You include the routings. So this is when you see the URL. Remember when I went to test FireStore, and it said doom scroll. Like, what am I going to be doing with those doom scroll? What I'm going to be doing is I understand that the doom scroll is true. But what does that mean from the user perspective? That means users are going to be opening up TikTok and going to be doom scrolling. But what does it mean for me from the standpoint of doing some sort of an action on avatar? Well, what that means is I need to grab that content, whatever we're getting over here, and passing that to avatar. So this way it could make a gesture and say, hey, sis, it looks like you're doing a good job doom scrolling a little bit. Continue, right? So we want to pass that action, but we need to cook up an avatar. We haven't got there yet. We're still in that direction. And there's a routing path over here steering. This is our default thing. So what is that? Once again, this is the default. So what is this whole thing? What is this after forward slash? What is that called? URI. What is this whole thing called over here? FQDN, fully qualified domain name. What is this thing called over here? Protocol. Why are we using encrypted protocol? Because, guys, WebRTC works over encrypted protocol. Plus, you want to have everything secure. You don't really want to be passing data across non-encrypted channels, guys. So we all also take care about security, and that's what matters the most for luxury pet moms over 40. They want that security. But guys, the most important part for you is to kind of understand how we are unwrapping all of those high cardinality heterogeneous complexities with ease as we're navigating through them and making it available for you to fully possible to understand. Now, of course, guys, keep something in mind. The only way you're going to be able to understand this is to, if you're really struggling to understand any of this, guys, rewatch um, rewatch everything that we do. Rewatch those workshops. We'll make those workshops available for you, and ask questions inside of our feudal incubators. Join our Freedom Fusion Flip workshops if you wanted to get ahead of the game quicker. Those Freedom Fusion Flip workshops are available over here. Join them over here and get access to our every Saturday, every 1 p.m. You could reserve a spot over here where you could ask questions and you could learn more about our feudal incubators over here as well. Effectively go through all of this page on the buy link. If you guys are interested in learning how to build your own TikTok shop, your own pet store, build your own feudal kingdom, then either flip it or keep it. So that is kind of, uh, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, but I also kind of wanted to include all of those combinations and iterations in one spot and show to like how we're building all of those things over here. Like as you can see, here's on a Gumroad. Anytime we do something, we operationalize it into automation on a Gumroad. If you guys are interested in getting access to those automations on Gumroad, you most certainly can. But it's going to be a lot easier if you become a Thread Stack subscriber. Thread Stack subscribers get access to all of those automations. So this way you don't have to spend for each individual automation and pay separately. Instead, you get access to our Thread Stack, become our Thread Stack subscriber. You go here and you get access to all of our automations as we building them. The access is $14.99. You can modify them per however you want it, and of course if you wanted to book a session together with us and wanted to have some custom automations done for you, you could go to freedomfusionsystem.com and go over here, book an appointment, and set up what you're interested in, what you would be interested in, whether you're interested in Feudal Incubator, or if you're interested in Freedom Fusion automations or Freedom Fusion system. So now going back to the ChatGPT, and keep something in mind, whenever we're building something like this, we're expanding on the build and we're using this kind of, we're using everything, whatever we build, we operationalize. So what I mean by that is when we build something, we make it easy for you guys to consume. We package everything in a pill of freedom. So those pills of freedom are available for our Feudal Incubator subscribers. So where we give you access to our entire project, and on ChatGPT, you get access to this project, and of course, we give you access to the pill of freedom. Those pills of freedom are over here. If I was to go to Notion and show you guys the pill of freedom, so let's see, um, Notion. So install relaunch later. So if we go here, Notion, I need to log into it. Edge, let me go here, Notion. So if I go here and we go to steering up the pod, like freedom, so all of those pills of freedom, guys, you'll get access to if you were to become our Feudal Incubator member. So, and over here, what I do is I would include URL for like all those details, all the engineering details that you could see in one spot. So this way you could see how we engineered the whole thing. And of course, each individual step-by-step um, blueprint you would also get as well. It would be documented inside of the Pill of Freedom if you wanted to recreate something like this. So right now, if we look a little bit further, what exactly are we going to be doing next? We're going to be integrating PWA plus WebRTC. So this way we could open up a avatar and picture-in-picture window, and we track user interactions throughout step completion. Then we set data to CloudRun, FireStore, and trigger Gemini API calls and return AI feedback in real time. So how do we do this? We got to expose API endpoints in CloudRun. So this is how we do it. So for example, app post step async. So we need to have asynchronous communication back and forth throughout every single step to see whether they completed the step, where they at in the step, and we wanted to get that context. And of course, as you can see, each user 1 to 3 have step sub collection in a nested object. We pass that sub collection and effectively pass this information to Gemini API, and Gemini API comes back to the user and communicates to the user with an avatar. Of course, we got to cook up the avatar as well. We'll try to get to that as well if possible. But we're getting close, guys. What we did over here, once again, I'm going to kind of quickly describe what we did. We went ahead and we spun up index.js, uh, which is basically a file that includes everything that allows you to connect to your FireStore static database. And of course, it allows you to communicate with your schema. So in this case, we're testing the FireStore URL. So we're creating like your URI inside of this routing rule. So we're basically creating it and we say, hey, test completed, etc. for the following collection users 1 to 3. Okay, so we're exposing over here on port 8080. We are requiring service account and we're using those default names over here, Express and FireBase admin. And of course, we are listening on a port and we are going this further. So over here, we could see the rest of it if we are going here. So let me just kind of show you what else we did in order for you to fully understand how everything is working. So in combination, what we did is we did a couple of things. Installed the Google thing. We installed the Google Cloud, because you need to communicate through Google Cloud. You need to be typing your CLI information inside of CLI. You need to be typing those commands to build things and etc. Sort of like in Docker. So you need to install Google Cloud, uh, basically, yeah, Google Cloud projects. So once you install, and of course, well, you need to install npm and npm install. And of course, what you need to do, uh, you obviously need to build and submit. So build and deploy. The same way how it is with Docker. If you're familiar with Docker, uh, very similar thing. In fact, this whole thing is run on Docker, and you're not running this on your computer, but you're running this in on the internet. Now, why is it cool to have it on the internet? Well, because you can scale, you can request on demand, you could literally do your proof of concepts and then later on charge people money for that kind of stuff. Um, or you could hand it off as part of your product and service, which is what we do. And it's just no brainer when we do it this way because it's just easier for you to guys have everything set up and still stay in control of all of your costs. This is how we ignore any extra folders that were inside of the Docker container. So you definitely want to ignore this. You want to update that file and ignore the nodes module. Otherwise, it's going to create a container with all the files in there. That's what happened to me, and I was even asking, is that normal? Because as soon as I did that, I noticed it was creating temporary archive of 5,554 files. And of course, guys, it told me, no, it's not normal, etc. You got to use this. Then, of course, guys, you gotta use the correct project. You gotta set the project when you're using gcloud commands. And you gotta use obviously authenticate. Make sure you use the same Google account for both FireBase, FireStore, and of course for this thing for CloudRun. Keep something in mind. CloudRun is going to be what's running on the hood and connecting to your proxies, WebRTC proxies, WebRTC avatar, all that other fun stuff. So, and of course, this is kind of what it looks like. And I know I'm going backwards, but I figured it's the best way for you to kind of understand all the steps. So once again, index.js. So what does it do? It connects to your FireStore database. What else does it do? It makes it possible for you to take control of URIs. So this way you could generate those posts. So you want to know, you want to be able to feed those information into API, into Gemini API. So this way it comes back and responds with the avatar. So now keep something in mind. This is a basic curl statement for how to post things. And of course, those once you build the tech stack, you will be able to like build all of those other marketing strategies on top of it and distribute that on a go to people. So which is very important. You want to build the correct stack. And as you can see, this is a schema for Firestore structure. This is a minimal CloudRun configuration. And it's very important to understand all of those snippets because if you were to like just run blindly and try to set everything up like this, you would not be able to create an innovative app. Like you would probably just, if you were to try to do this on a local Docker, you would, as soon as you would hit this problem, you would already get cooked. Now, because if you use a router and you try to expose your local computer on a Docker, you will hit this stun limitation, and you won't be able to do that unless you create like another Docker container using an additional proxy, and that would add extra latency. So my recommendation is if you wanted to do that, you could do hybrid approach where you use for traffic signaling, you use um, turn-based proxy container that's on Google while having your Docker running the rest of the setup, just like with your container with your Docker N8N kind of style setup. Absolutely, you could totally do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Just kind of remember that if you wanted to have WebRTC style of communication, it's not. It's running in a way that it's continuously sending multimodal based information versus like if you were to use N8N where you're sending information to your Cloudflare tunnel, reverse tunnel that makes the whole possible for you to use webhooks and telegrams and all that other stuff. Um, it's not going to be able to handle this if you're just planning on doing it this way. So if you kind of think about all this, what does it make sense in terms of money if you wanted to do it for like do things and kind of understand things and make it really affordable, yeah, I would go ahead and do this on Docker, local Docker, in combo with running a Stan proxy on Google. Sure, absolutely, you'll save yourself more money this way. Uh, Obviously, you still have to pay for the APIs, for Gemini API, et cetera. But at the end of the day, you would have a greater control, but your computer would need to be turned on. And of course, you would be saving some money if you have some heavy duty kind of automations behind the scenes. But what we try to do, we try to reduce the heavy duty of automations in the cloud and double down on what's on the phone. That's the beautiful part about our Fit and Fusion automations. It makes it affordable and makes it easy for moms over 40 to fully take control of their tech stack that they're already walking with on everyday basis versus trying to like get them uh, to spend all the money on the cloud resources. So guys, this is really simple. Now of course you want to do allow public access, inbound access. You want to do later on you could secure it more down. You could put it by your IP if you're using it like if a mom over 40 using it in that way. But like when you lock it down by IP, you got to remember that um, it's going to be only available by IP from wherever you're coming from. So you kind of have to update that regularly, especially on an iPhone when you're running around. You have different public IPs you could be connecting to. So there's some other tricks for that. If you wanted to kind of restrict it only from a specific iPhone, there's other methods of security other than doing uh, this public access, guys. I'm not going to get into it too much, but this is something that like any of you guys should be aware of the whole concept of zero trust access. Everything needs to be outbound. All of those things is something that is covered in many schools and universities. This is something that you quickly learn as you become a cybersecurity and cloud engineer. But in real world, this is a small part of concept in comparison to digital faceless marketing plus AI content driven automations and building all sorts of ecosystems that allows bougie boss moms to stand out from the competition and have entire army of the UGC creators promoting content. It's a really small concept, but it's still a big concept that can bite you if you don't have it set up the correct way. And of course, the container is running on 8080 on internal port and the external part is 443. And of course, this is what it's listening. Like this is just basic commands. This is a basic setup. You could start off with this public simple container when you first set it up. And really, what you want to do, you want to get started. You use Google console cloud.google.run. You jump on there and you create this service. And of course, pick the correct region in both locations just to make sure that it's closer. And uh, yeah, and then just hit the ground running. Start building, guys. Keep something in mind, don't overkill yourself trying to build super sophisticated automation that nobody's going to use. What your goal is really it should really be combine your digital faceless marketing skills with AI content driven automations as you're building your luxury pet store in a specific industry like with specific focus. In our particular case, it's luxury pet moms, digital faceless marketing moms, digital sis who loves pets, cats, and dogs and wanted to monetize them, wanted to make more money, wanted to become feudal lord, wanted to grow their feudal kingdom and get other people to promote their brand. And of course, there's many different things that you could offer to those type of customers, but the most part for you to understand is how do you take control of their iPhones? How do you take control of their lives on the go? How do you introduce some of those innovative automations as you whipping out some of those proxies and all sorts of other things? It's at the end of the day, guys, it's just how much value you could produce. It has nothing to do with amount of features or technologies. It has to do with how flexible it is, whatever you do, how easy controllable it is from the centralized location, and how can you secure it in a way that makes total sense, and how do you do it in a way that is not super expensive, that any mom over 40 can give it a try and do it, test it, see if she likes it, and be like, yeah, yeah, I like it. Yeah, I want to do that. Boom. Now, the apps that are going to be winning, guys, are not going to be the apps that you see today. In the future, the apps are going to be immersive. with augmented reality, combination of virtual reality and all sorts of other bells and whistles. But what you could do now is learn how to integrate all of those systems together and take control of your feudal kingdom that you're building. And down the road, as you expanding on those skills, it's going to be relatively simple to integrate all sorts of other skills because they all add up one on top of another like a snowball effect, etc., 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 etc. So I think you guys got the idea. But over here, guys, it's really, really simple. Um, I just kind of quickly went over what you need to do. Do we need to use any functions? No, you don't need to use cloud functions. You use CloudRun, use WebRTC. Inside of CloudRun, you connect to, you tap into the API, Gemini API, and then you deliver back into your native iPhone app that runs on Google's that is designed with Google Stitch, and you invoke your native-based automations that are already available on iPhone. Why? Because if you just use Google Stitch, um, if you just use Google Stitch a user interface, it's not going to help you to do innovative things. That's why. Take a look at iOS 26, the latest iOS 26, and see, for example, how many features do you see out there that you could execute with non-native apps like Google Stitch designed app that runs on in a browser. See how many things you could do versus how many things you could really do if you were to use shortcuts. Then ask that question yourself and then see how you could build a hybrid system that combines in a combination of both. And that's exactly what we do over here, and that's exactly what you could learn how to scale this, how to take it to the next level, build innovative products, and of course do so at your own pace. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna get going. Hopefully you enjoyed this workshop. If you guys are interested, our subscription is $295 per month for a feudal incubator. And if you're our ThreadStack subscriber, you get a discounted access. If you're interested in joining the Word Path on my Insta, if you don't have that budget, don't worry. If you want to build, we could waive that fee. If you want to build for Bougie Boss Moms over 40, we won't charge you our training fee for that. If you help us help luxury pet moms. But if you're somebody who wants to get access to some of those automations that we're whipping out, then join our subscribe to ThreadStack Digital Power Bundle. It's only $14.99. So this way you get access to Buy Spy Social Blaster, Stirring Up the Pot, iPhone Engagement Machine, and many other automations that we're whipping out. And if you want some of those automations for free, you could most certainly do that as well. You could jump in and grab any of those automations that you see over here that will help you increase your engagements. But keep in mind, if you want encouragement, accountability, and support and wanted to ask questions, that's the reason why you'd want to spend $14.99. You get some accountability, higher priority of accountability, encouragement, and support than free members, but not as high of accountability and encouragement and support as it is the case for our feudal incubator members. If you're on the edge, if you're a business owner and you're not really sure how to put all of those bells and whistles together, but wanted to have your own luxury pet store, wanted to get other people to build for you, and wanted to learn how to build your feudal kingdom and either keep it or flip it, then take a look at our Flip and Fusion Flip workshop. Join it every Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, and we'll take it to the next level. We'll try to whip something out together, see how we can morph our business in your direction to see where we could help you out, to help you grow it and get connected with some of our feudal hustlers who can help you navigate through some of those high cardinality heterogeneous complexities in a modern world that we live in today. So guys, without further ado, I'm super excited for you and I'm gonna get going. But just kind of remember, if you have any questions, if you want help, go ahead and subscribe. My subscription is only $14.99. DM the word path to my Insta. If anything, log in and to definitely reserve your spot for 1 p.m. Eastern workshops. Once again, guys, those are skills not taught anywhere in the world. This is extremely unique. You probably, just by looking at the entire workshop over here, you probably already realize that. Jump in into our threads as well. You're gonna be able to learn so much information just from threads alone, just by reading through all of our threads alone. You're just gonna be like, oh my god, like literally you're gonna be able to learn. If you want, you could learn for free. But of course, if you watch all of the YouTube videos and go through thousands of workshops, you could learn, but it will take you longer versus getting more personalized advice. And of course, this is what it looks like. ThreadStack, jump in into our community. You're going to get access to this. ThreadStack, it's a free guide. There's lots of steps in there. I highly recommend you start off with that. And then if you wanted to subscribe and get access to all the other guides, including all sorts of automations, so this way you don't have to pay separately $19.99 for them and only pay $14.99 per month, then definitely guys subscribe on FUD. FUD is a community where we have close to over 100 coaches and over 100,000 side hustlers whom you can squabble up, build together your feudal kingdoms. And I'm one of the FUD experts on FUD, and I'm the top creator on FUD as well. So guys, and definitely, I know some of you will say, well, Rome, how come you're not famous yet? So that's why I'm not famous, guys. Well, I guess I don't know. Maybe I am famous. Well, I'm not famous in the form of a in terms of regular people, but in terms of Pepsi, billion-dollar company, I think I we got quite famous, guys. Look, they built a drink after my company's name called Freedom Fusion Mountain Dew Summer Edition of 2024. How crazy is that, guys? When I saw that, I almost fell off my chair. So this is it, guys. Check it out whenever you get a chance. Read this article. Holy smokes, Mountain Dew, which is obviously Pepsi company, created a drink called Freedom Fusion. As you can see, everything, the eagle, everything. Those guys love my content so much they created a drink, guys. So if you guys are interested in supporting our mission and helping us out and really want to enjoy helping moms over 40, feel free to donate a cup of coffee. And there's a new feature as well in Cup of Coffee where you could add a video message, which is pretty cool. I love it. That is amazing. And of course, you could watch more videos of all sorts of crazy. So, guys, you could basically enjoy it, read some of those things, and learn more about thread stack, learn about AI content-driven automations, learn hybrid skills that are not taught in college. Go through all thousands of threads, and go through, and you could search on ChatGPT and ask any kind of question that you like. So, if you go here, you could kind of read over here more, or you could use ChatGPT to literally ask any kind of question that you have, and most likely I already have an answer to that question just by you using at Freedom Fusion system when you using ChatGPT. Now, of course, Threads is not super kind of, it's not really like Reddit or LinkedIn when it comes to LLMs querying threads and kind of from SEO standpoint, but it still shows up lots of threads on there. If you guys are really interested in leveling up your SEO game, I highly recommend you use combination of LinkedIn and Threads. Now, Threads and Facebook, okay? And of course, remember, the more you play within the Meta ecosystem, the easier it's going to be for you to make money. Why do you guys think I have Facebook? Like I have this is my site over here, facebook.com /math tutor. This was my first thing that I that I had. This is my site, guys. So like, why do you think I'm on Facebook? I'm on Threads. I'm on LinkedIn, and I'm like do like on LinkedIn I'm not too much, but on Threads, why are there so many thousands of people following? Why? Guys, just ask yourself why. Like this to get this number, guys, on Threads is almost impossible nowadays unless you use Thread Stack. Like because people don't follow. They literally like they're like Thread zombies, guys. They are just kind of scrolling and they don't follow unless you give them a reason. Thread Stack makes it possible for you guys to get those zombies, Thread zombies, come and join your feudal kingdom, guys. So this way you never have to struggle about like wondering how come people nobody joining my offer or whatever. You're gonna learn how to do all that in thread stack. Just go through the media library. If you completely cooked and you wanted to learn, like if you don't even want to read anything, go through the media library and watch all those automations over here, guys. So this way you fully understand what I'm offering. Then it's gonna register, guys, because right now it's like a mental brain surgery for you to trying to figure out all those different things because there's so many different elements involved. So unless you watch all of those different elements, unless you, like you could probably just understand why billion-dollar company love their marketing so much. Like literally just by looking at this content alone, you'd be like, damn, this is insane. I never seen anything like this. Guys, this is why. This is the reason why. And this is the type of skills you will be getting in thread stack. How to literally dominate your game exponentially, like blow the hell up any kind of business that you're trying to grow. Get your dog to fly if you have to. Literally, guys, this is your ticket to freedom. Thread stack. guys, you'll get threads access to threads booster, threads themes, threads stories, threads slacker, threads samurai, threads bots, many different guides. And once you get access to thread stack, you'll learn how to create your own theme, how to build your own digital product, how to monetize your pets, cats, and dogs, how to literally monetize your commute, so this way you're not wasting money on your commute, traveling every day and not making anything. That kind of sucks. Imagine if, like in my particular case, I have a commute literally 3 hours per day when I go to the city. I clearly don't want to just waste 3 hours a day. Instead, what I do is I monetize it. I make myself fly, guys, and I make you guys fly as well. And if you want to fly as well, then trust me, guys, you want to check out ThreadStack. Heck, if you have to get your dog to fly too. And guys, look, this is the reality. Nowadays, people are cooked. Their brains are toast. They don't understand anything, guys. Unless, like, if you're still using words, you already lost the battle, guys. You have to be using crazy looking, insane videos like this, getting dogs to fly, getting people to fly, getting your brand injected directly inside of your theme, inside of your ideal customer profile. Get them cooked so fast. Like literally, guys, I was creating trends. People recognize this content. Like when you see me blast content, I create trends, actual trends. Meaning people, like literally, if you see my content blow up, don't be surprised, guys. Now, when I say blow up, I don't mean like millions of people. What I see, a lot of people, as soon as they see what I'm doing, immediately start copying. But then when they realize how complex this is, they'll be like, damn, I can't do this, right? So remember, when the minute you start building your feudal kingdom, the minute you discover those business development skills and threat stacking, is the day when you're going to be able to strike deals with those feudal lords. Because remember, those feudal lords, they want smart business moms who know how to use low effort routines to produce big results. And of course, those moms, they want to connect with. And ThreadStack gives the power to you guys to learn those hybrid skills that are not taught in college. Get your dog to fly. Have beautiful, beautiful, beautiful kind of a life vacation that you could finally go to and spend your money on. Imagine, like, this is us going to Florida. This is my wife over here petting a cat. That's the whole reason I went ahead and created ThreadStack, because I saw something in this life. I wanted to put my wife in the mix, in cats in the mix. She's also cat by like her horoscope sign or whatever the sign is. Like, there's a cat, there's a rooster. I forgot what, if it was a Chinese calendar or what calendar, but you guys know what I'm talking about. There's, guys, you could become greater you, and you could build your digital product. You could have that product blow up, and you could do this in combination with your physical product. Never do a digital product on its own. Always, guys, combine physical product together with digital product, and that's exactly what you're going to get with Threads Booster. This digital product is going to be easy for you to learn how to create. With Threads Booster, you're going to learn how to grow on threads, how to use innovative digital faceless marketing routines, create all sorts of crazy content. And don't mind my hairy leg over there further down below. But look, when I try to tell people, look, they could just be spawning money with digital faceless marketing on the go while traveling, and they scroll through anyway. Sheesh, I don't even know what to say in that case. Well, just imagine what can extra monthly income can do for you in combo with Freedom Fusion system. This is the tea, guys. This is insane tea. Like, just listen to the way I talk. I morphed myself into the digital realm over here, right in front of you, as I'm kind of mesmerizing you and showing you all those beautiful aesthetics while including my wife in the mix, guys. This is incredible. Imagine learning those threats stacking skills and truly getting to the next level. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna get going. Go ahead and scroll through those posts, see what works for you, and I'll see you next time, guys. And take care. And I'll see you probably maybe by tomorrow, guys.